Deborah Style here. All creatures have a purpose, even a curly-tailed pig. Likewise, they all have feelings, and loving hearts so big. Book 13, Patsy, the Pasta-Eating Pig. Patsy, the Pasta-Eating Pig. The Lakeshore Gazette posted our picture and a very nice story on the front page of the paper, giving us praise and glory. The money raised will help the pound build a much-needed new wing. Winter is coming soon, so construction will start in the spring. Mr. and Mrs. Ray cooked us a celebration dinner. Ellie's signature pasta dish was sure to be a winner. She served delicious meatballs and fresh baked bread, homemade biscuits for Rennie, Patsy, and Fred. But Patsy was more interested in the noodles in the bowl. She oinked, made a spin, then laid down and did a roll. The next day, as we ate leftovers, we heard scratching at the door. Patsy had smelled the noodles and came trotting in for more. Every time we ate pasta, which was usually once a week, Patsy came a-running with a squeal or a squeak. Instead of meat and veggies that Fred and Rennie got in their dishes, we put mushrooms in her bowl of pasta. Patsy got her wishes. She had her own corner in the dog barn with a warm and cozy bed. Rennie slept on her left side. On the right side slept Fred. They were always together. We called them the Three Musketeers. For the Halloween parade, that's how we dressed them. They got lots of cheers. The parade ended at Johnson's farm for candy, games, and fun. There was a maze in the cornfield, hay rides, and a pumpkin run. The object of this game was to pick a pumpkin from the patch, then run through the field without dropping it was the catch. There were a lot of kids bumping and falling on the ground. It was funny to see orange pumpkins rolling around. It sounded easy, but none of us made it to the finish line. We stopped to help Jess, whose leg was tangled in a vine. At 6 o'clock, Mr. Johnson lit the annual bonfire. The national anthem was sung by the high school choir. It started to get breezy. In fact, the wind began blowing hard. The adults began to panic as hay blew around the yard. They tried to put the bonfire out before it could spread, but with such a wind the fire moved fast, and Mr. Johnson yelled, "Code Red!" On a farm, that is a code you do not want to hear. Danger of fire to the crops and livestock is a big fear. Everyone acted quickly to try and help the best they could, but even worse, the fire blew over to a pile of wood. Flames shot up high and over toward the trees. The fire truck arrived with hoses. "Oh, help, please!" After several hours, the firefighters put the fire out. It was nearly midnight. Everyone was exhausted, no doubt. Luckily, the house and barn were on the opposite side of the farm. No damage was done to the crops, and the livestock had no harm. But the fire had destroyed the beautiful woods about 1/4 mile deep. For now, all we could do was go home and get some sleep. In the morning, we all went over to help clean up the debris. Lying on the ground was Mr. Johnson's burnt 100-year-old tree. His tree had been home to many a bird throughout the years. It held a tire swing for his kids and grandkids, as he remembered through his tears. Then Patsy broke away, running through all the ashes and soot. To the base of the tree she sniffed, digging wildly with her hooves. She flung the charred bark away, then dug down into the dirt. Deep in their den was a family of rabbits, trembling and hurt. Mr. Johnson put on his gloves and grabbed a big sturdy crate. He carefully placed each bunny in as we counted up to 8. We all jumped in Mr. Johnson's truck as Jess called her dad. When we arrived, he was ready with his medical kit and heating pad. The crate was placed on top of the pad to keep the bunnies warm. Our commotion caused people to surround Mr. Ray in a swarm. He examined each one, removing splinters and pieces of wood. He mended their cuts, handling them gently as he could. He lost only one, and as sad as that might be, the other 7 had survived because of that fallen tree. They would have all burned, but the tree trapped them in their den. Thanks to Patsy's keen smell and digging, she got that trap open. Patsy the Pig Hero. To be continued. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe and join me tomorrow for book number 14.